Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for September 16, 2021, the $114 million edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reporting. The SEC has issued $114 million awards in total to 2 whistleblowers, including one who provided an independent analysis to the regulator that substantially advanced investigations. With the latest awards, the SEC whistleblower program has now paid out more than $1 billion to 207 whistleblowers since issuing its first award in 2012. That's a milestone for the SEC whistleblower program created by Dodd-Frank. One can only really sit in wonder and awe at the success of this program, in spite of the fact of the Trump administration's, under Jay Clayton, attempt to cut it back. Everyone thinks the program is a big win for the SEC, and we can only hope that it will continue unabated. Next up, in some of the most gut-wrenching testimony in front of Congress seen recently, 4 U.S. Olympic gymnasts testified about reporting to the FBI of sexual abuse by Larry Nassar and having those reports either ignored or actually having the evidence destroyed of their conversations with the FBI. It's really a sad day for the FBI as these gymnasts reported in the mid-2000s about abuse by Nassar, and for 17 months there was no action taken after the first reports in 2015. It included Simone Biles, Atlee Raisman, and a couple of others. The problem was that the FBI agent that they reported to actually took the information, or apparently took the information of the USOC, or rather the United States Gymnastics Association. At the same time, he was attempting to get a job with them, so a clear conflict of interest. That agent was terminated from the FBI recently following a report by the Justice Department Inspector General that the FBI had failed to respond to the Nassar allegations with the utmost seriousness and urgency. Next up, the Justice Department has accused an upstate New York health insurance plan for seniors of fraud and cheating the government out of billions. In an article by NPR, a data analytics firm was actually charged with reporting greater symptoms that actually exist because the medical insurance company got paid on that delta. And finally, from the BBC, in one of the most bizarre stories around, and one that you couldn't make up, a prominent South Carolina lawyer whose wife and son were murdered put out a hit on himself so that his remaining son could collect the insurance money. The hit failed because the hitman shot him in the head, but it only grazed him. So we're going to follow this story. It's judiciously delicious.
The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.